Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to a couple of handsome fellas about what's going down on the weekend. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast, Weekend Poppin'. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by my good buddy, Party in Your Pants, Party Boy, Magic Man, Pete McCormick. Pete, how you doing, pal?
My pants are tingling and I'm ready to get going.
I like it. Pants are tingling and you're ready to do some mingling. I love it. So, and then we're also joined by our other special guest, Stuuuuubbbbins, good old Steve Cabot. Stevie, how we doing, babe?
I'm doing good. Maybe not as good as Pete, but I'm single and ready to mingle.
Hey, I like that. Shout out. Hey, all the girls looking for a good guy, check them out at Glendale Automotive. All right. You can find us
That's
on...
right. I'll change and check the oil.
Yeah, I bet you would. All right. So this is the Working Perspectives Podcast, Weekend Poppin'. Let's get this thing started. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So, boys, let's do some chatting. Stuuuuubbbbins, we had part 2 of the Steve Cabot duo air last week. And let me tell you, dude, I'm telling you, we got rave reviews for that episode. Rave reviews. Petey, right? I mean, people People loved it. You nailed it, man. Great stuff, great stories. And I love, too, how we really got into depth about, like, and, you know, we barely, really, I feel like we got in some kind of depth, but we were scratching the surface of the automotive world. You know, like, there's so much more we can talk about. But people really loved, like, the insight. They loved the NASCAR talk, the Formula One talk. They loved how, you know, we brought some realism.
People love stories about how Steve almost died. You know, that's what we found that people like.
There's some of their favorites.
I have a lot of those, unfortunately. Somehow, some way, I should absolutely not be here. But that story is the tamest of my near-death experiences.
It's crazy that your dad was in a coma for 6 months from that machine. And then it freaking almost decapitates you.
Almost happened to me, right? And remember, the crazy part is I'm named after my father. I'm a junior, so it was like for some poor lady. I never told the story, but my poor grandmother would probably like pass out if she heard that happen to me after seeing what happened to my dad.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, like, did he tell his sisters and your mom and everything? Like, everybody knew, right?
Nope.
He didn't.
My mom.
Because they would have freaked. They would have freaked.
Yeah.
They would have freaked.
He ain't putting them through that. Yeah. Because like I said, my dad's from a big family, has 5 sisters, and last thing he needed to do was tell any of them because they'd all be calling me. It's a
it's a whole. Pete's got 4 sisters, so I only got 1, and it's a fucking nightmare. I can't imagine.
I have none, and now I have nieces, and I'm now just venturing into this different culture they call women. Yeah,
it's a fucking whole new world. Let me tell you, as the listeners know, I have a daughter, and it has completely changed the way I view the world. I
agree. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes your friends show up while you're watching the Eagles, and you just happen to be having a little girl doing your hair because it's easier to just let her do your hair and watch the game than argue with her.
I hear you.
It's true.
I have tried to argue with my nieces, and literally I get nowadays. I got a 12-year-old and an 8 or a 7-year-old, and I'm now hip to the game. So I don't even argue. I just bend over and do whatever.
Let them do it. Yep, that's just take it and go. That's all. Found out. So speaking of women, found out an interesting fact today about women. Okay. 2 interesting facts actually. So
they're not human.
No, they are definitely aliens. But the term hooker, right? So we we know the term hooker. Hooker is
intimately
a prostitute. Yes. So
some of us.
The term
allegedly.
Yeah. We all know the wishy-washies. All right, pal. So
everybody knows what a table wash is, and it's life-changing.
Yeah. Sometimes you get on the milking table and you just got to get milked, you know?
That's right. Hell yeah, Pete. Amen.
You motherfuckers need the milk. That's the truth. So either way, so the term hooker originated from the Civil War. There was a general, Joseph Hooker, I believe. Joseph or John Hooker. So this is what he did. Back then, prostitution wasn't really a big thing, but Hooker firmly believed that if the men could get their rocks off with some fancy ladies, then they would be better in battle. So he should
have been president.
No, that's a fucking guy who knew what he was doing. everyone in the army wanted to join hookers regiment. So then prostitutes turned into hookers because it was, hookers,
Is that where we got the constitutional amendment, bros before hoes?
Hell yeah.
I believe so. Yeah, General Joseph Hooker. Yeah, he amended the Constitution for bros before hoes. Absolutely. But yeah, awesome. he would allow hoes, and he would allow pornography because he thought it made the soldiers better at fighting. The second thing,
because he fucked.
Yeah.
Smart
though. He's not wrong. He's
brilliant. He's brilliant.
And plus, too, like motivating your soldiers, that's the name of the game. And he's the massive motivator. So
I don't know how many people heard episode 1 of Stuuuuubbbbins, but you heard the greatest motivation that's ever came across in my life. That was another man telling me another man telling me that some other man was going to have the woman that was mine because I wasn't man enough for her.
Who's like, so the woman he's speaking of, we will not say their name, but
we won't.
Not yet, but she's phenomenal and now a fan of the show. So
that's right.
Yep. Thank you, Stu.
Shout out to the mysterious, exotic Jungle Jane. I call her JJ Jungle Jane.
Jungle Jane, love it. I do remember this. This is how far we go back. Her AOL Instant Messenger screen name.
It still is
Stuuuuubbbbins girl.
How funny is it
really?
that she? Yeah. How funny is it that she told me? Ready for this? How funny is it that she's a lawyer now, right? Very, very well-respected lawyer. She's a brilliant girl, super smart. So very well-respected lawyer.
Few of her good qualities.
You're goddamn right. But she's a very, very good lawyer, and her
and a very nice person as well.
Her email is still Stuuuuubbbbins girl, and she goes, I have all the time. I have people go like litigation people go, what the fuck is Stuuuuubbbbins girl?
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know. It was 25 years. It was 20 years ago. I don't fucking know.
It's in.
What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, get over it.
Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, once you're in. Hey, she earned it. So, but no, so what Steve's
she more than earned it. Anyway.
Jesus Christ. So what Steve is referencing is a segment from the Steve Cabot Part 2 where we spoke about a coach named Lindley Kistler. And if for those of you who haven't listened, spoiler, but you should have listened by now because you can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast.
Spoiler in 3, 2, 1.
But so Coach Lindley Kistler would motivate Steve by Steve. What would he tell you, pal?
He would look at me and say, "Man, you really outkicked your coverage, didn't you? She's definitely out of your league." And I would, I would immediately agree.
You're a fucking Martina
Because again, not only is she beautiful, but she's a great person. Which
super nice. How perfect. Really nice.
How did an ugly asshole end up with a beautiful, good person? Anyway, either way.
Yeah. He's still trying to figure that out.
I know, me too. It's strange. But that person was used as motivational bait to say that if I didn't give it my all, he was making sure that I went out there and left everything on the mat. Because if I didn't, the other guy deserved to date her, not me, in the most PC terms.
Yeah. I mean, you already fucking said it the other way. It's not like I don't know why you're being politically correct now.
Okay, you're right. So he would look at me and go, "If you lose, that dude's gonna bang your girl. How's that make you feel?" And then
she'll have to change her email address to not Stuuuuubbbbins girl.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had flames pouring out my nose. And I had the most blood pouring through my veins. I've never felt more alive.
We know where that blood was going.
Well, not at that point. At that point, it was going everywhere else. Yeah, because I was in Brandon Hill mode. Someone needed to die.
That's the most dangerous mode there is. I'll tell you that.
Goddamn right it is.
You fucking
shoulder ruining mode.
Shout out to B Hill. Love you, brother.
Love it. Fan of the show, former guest of the show, Brandon Hill. Love him.
Brother of all three of us.
Staff Sergeant Brandon Hill.
That's right.
Gunnery
you
Staff
fucking
Sergeant.
Say that.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't leave that gunnery. That gunnery's a lot of extra ranks. How dare you?
Fucking A, man. Fucking A. So the second piece of information I wanted to share with us is that eyelashes. Now, fake eyelashes that women wear, I believe, were invented by hookers and used by hookers as a way of catching, gabash.
And they were
it's like the merkin thing, right? Yeah.
Yep.
They came up with the merkin because they would shave themselves to avoid crabs, and then they didn't want people to think they had crabs, so they invented the merkin.
Hell yeah.
What is a merkin?
How dare you, Matt? God damn it.
Educate this man.
What is a merkin like a toupee for their fanny?
for their vagine.
For their vagine.
Man, the old I mean,
it's a little astroturf laid down in the pubic area.
Yeah, sure. No one minds a landing strip from here.
Well, what it was is basically they realized that only hookers shaved, to get rid of the crab, so they didn't want people to think they were hookers. So that was a way to seem cleaner.
Yeah.
To shave and come in with the merkin.
Right. Yeah. As much as you can shave all you want, you're not getting rid of the herpes, though. So I don't know if you've seen, but recently on all our podcast platforms like TikTok at Working Pea Pod, Twitter at Working Pea Pod, and on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, I've been airing actual videos of us
he's on video.
Yeah. So I did air. Thanks for fucking following us on socials, assholes. But yeah, you guys, you would have seen your faces in the video.
I did, motherfucker. And I thought, thank you for prefacing me that I was going to be on an actual visual. So instead, I look like some fucking wet, retarded rat in the goddamn shop as I'm stuffing Doritos down my throat like a fucking asshole.
Now you're filming Blair Witch Project version 4 right now. So,
yeah.
Sorry that I'm not podcast savvy like you two fucking assholes.
Yeah, podcast savvy. I'm in my laundry room right now.
Yeah, laundry room. You guys got fucking headphones. Look like you're ordering. Look like you're taking my order at Dunkin' Donuts right now.
I wish. Yeah. So, okay. So, real quick then. So, like I said, we have the Steve Cavett Part 2. You can hear more fantastic stories like the one we talked about where you're getting motivation to wrestle, and other fantastic stories where you almost lost your life while working in the auto garage hungover.
And I just want to put a preface into that. I didn't realize because I talk 1,000 words a second and I don't really listen that well because I'm an asshole.
You think it's good.
But you said no. But the thing is, you brought up that you led to the fact that I was possibly hungover that day. That's not the case. There was days that went through that, but that day I was absolutely not under the influence of anything. That was a dead sober day. If I was drunk, I probably would have fucking died.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay. Because
you were like, yeah, you're probably hungover. When I reheard it, I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't fucking hungover.
So wait, you did that on like just a normal tired day after partying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even a tired day. It was just a normal day. Like I was just running through the routine, my normal. Like I said, I've done this 1,000 times in my life and never had an issue.
I see.
And 13 years later,
I took it for granted.
He's like, Dad, I was not hungover. I swear to God.
I know, right? Because trust me, that story would have been way better if I was, because my dad would have came out and beat the fuck.
Oh my God!
While I was there,
dude, I'll tell you what. That's one thing.
Because if there's one thing you can't, you don't mix.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say too. One thing that will always be true is that our dads will always be able to beat the shit out of us, and that's
yeah.
But
your dad more than others. He's that's a former Army Ranger. He's a little different.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, so let's keep it moving. So like we said, you can see Steve Cavett Part 2 on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. Check it out. Really good episode. Got a lot of good reviews on that. And then next week we'll be airing the Josh Lawler interview. Josh Lawler is a buddy of mine from the gym. Really great dude. Really fascinating job that he does. Really, really interesting kind of niche kind of job where it's very, very particular and kind of in a realm that you wouldn't think would exist, but it's a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry, and he's at the forefront of it.
It's porn.
Well, I mean, you said it, Bill. We've all seen the Law Dogs work. Let me tell you. No, just kidding. No,
Jerry's son getting it in.
Yeah, but no, he's been doing really good things. Really cool episode, and we talk about he's fought, and he's still in training to fight and things like that, and he's got a bunch
under
of cool
Rich
stuff. Yeah. He's a kickboxing instructor at the gym.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
His main kickboxing guy is Eric Utch. Your boy.
Oh yeah? You mean Uatich? Say it wrong again.
Uwitich.
It's the hooligan Uwitich.
Okay.
Do I have to?
Maybe we're talking about different guys then. I don't know.
No. You're not talking about the 4-time world champion, right?
Maybe not then, because
tattoos all over. His nickname's the hooligan. Has it tattooed across his stomach.
And I've been saying it wrong for 12 years, I guess, and he never said anything. I don't know why, but okay.
or I have CTE, and he apparently just let me call him Uwitich forever.
Yeah. Or maybe we're both right. Who the fuck knows?
Have you guys ever had that, like, where you've been working somewhere and someone's called you the wrong name and you let it go for too long? And you're like, well, I guess now I'm Patrick.
Internship. There's actually another guy at the gym. He's going to be a guest on the show in June. Really great guy. He's a captain. He's a police captain. Really, really great dude. He's one of my guys. I train him. He's training for his second fight. And he fights, and they do like the cops versus the firemen gimmick, right?
Oh, nice.
So he fought in it last year. Well, last year he fought in it, and it was just before COVID hit, so we were able to get it in. And then they weren't going to have it this year, and then they're redoing it, and he got a fight, so he's going to try and do it this year again. But he's been coming to the gym for like maybe 4 years. For the first 2 years of him coming to the gym, I called him Mike, and his name's Frank. I was like, "Hey, Mikey!" And he didn't say anything. And then one of the other guys was like, "Who's Mike?" And I was like, "Fucking Mike! He's been here for years." He's like, "That's like,
yeah, the pig over there. That's Mike."
Oh my god! Well, no, just to be fair, in 13 years, I don't know if I know 10% of the kids I've coached names, but I know all the nicknames I developed for them. Because me being from North Wales, everybody gets a nickname.
Yep.
So I'll be like, what's his name? And I'll see my kids go, who? And I say him again. They're like, who the fuck is that? And I describe him. They're like, Mark? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's not what I call him.
Yeah, I call him Cheese Dick. What the fuck? Yeah. Where's Cheese Dick?
The kid with the shitty double. What's his name? The kid with the shitty double.
Yeah, double shits. That fucking guy.
That was the 1 year I coached. I'm talking to this one kid, and my brother knew him. Remember, my brother called him Louis, so I thought his name was Louis. So I'm like, hey, Louis, what's going on? I was like, oh, you're going to call me Louis too? And I'm like, well, what the hell would I call you? He's like, no, Jimmy called me Louis the Leopard because I have a skin disorder. And I'm like, oh, shit.
My God. What a terrible
I'm like, just what's your real name? I'll call you that. I had no idea where the background for this Louis thing was. I'd only ever heard anybody call him Louis.
Oh, my God.
That's fantastic.
Assholes. That's a wrestling thing, though. We would do that shit all the time.
What do we remember? We used to call oh my God, Chode. What was Chode's name?
Fucking Choder.
Yeah.
Well, how deep are we allowed to get on here? We're allowed to go deep, right, Matt?
I mean, we're not. It's not live.
Long story short.
Oh, tell me you got
later in Chode's life, he had a very cute sister that was a little older than he was. And let's just say she used to frequent my house in Manioc.
Frequent
happily married now with many kids.
Frequent it to see you.
Now I know she doesn't have or she's not a listener, should I say? No, she's not a listener. But
not yet.
Can I shout that poor girl out because it was like a dude. She's the type that shows up, does what she needs to do, gives you a high five, doesn't call you, and goes home.
I mean, you gotta respect it.
As a 20-year-old,
gotta respect
legend.
It.
She was a legend. Oh,
yeah.
I love her. I
believe General Hooker would have awarded her a Congressional Medal of Honor.
You're goddamn right.
I'm guessing she wore fake eyelashes, right?
I don't know if they were in 2003 or 4, but I hear you.
No, I tell you this. I mean, let's just not, because I'm definitely gonna have to edit it. I can't fucking put that.
What, my thing? What, I can't talk about that, bro?
Well,
we might have to cut out like just the name, the one full name.
Her name was actually I don't even remember.
Well, if we say her brother, yeah, I know. I went to school with her for like 8 years. We went to Catholic school together. She was a rocket, and she was like one of the first girls that like developed too.
Oh yeah,
so she's been a rocket for years. And nice girl too. Nice girl.
Oh, a good human, like good to talk to. Yeah. She would call me drunk and be like, "Yo, I'm sliding through." I go, "Okay." She would push me down on the ground and be like, "Let me do my thing." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And she was like, "Hold on." And then 14 seconds later, she's like, "Time for me to leave."
Yeah. She's
and
like, "All right, I'm good."
I was like, are you okay? She's like, absolutely not, but you clearly are, so I'm gonna leave. I'm like, yeah, I hear.
It's like, well, I got another 2 stops to make now, thanks to you. You know,
he threw a 20 on his naked body. He was like, "Call yourself a cab, pussy."
Yeah.
As I'm sucking my thumb, crying.
Yeah. You're like, all right, I wanted to introduce you to my mom. You know,
you loved me.
She's putting on her, as she's buttoning her shirt. She goes, "I thought Dick ran this house. I guess not."
Man, dude, that's something we should all have like fake voices one time and black out the screens and just tell stories from when we lived in houses. I lived in a few because I lived on Markle Street and Ripka Street and fucking those houses. Pete, you remember we lived together on Ripka. There was some fucking
I lived on Wendover, and then I also lived off of Cecil B. Moore when I was at Temple in North Philly at 17th and Jefferson, which I knew a bunch of the neighborhood guys because of some friends that I knew. Yeah. So I got some stories out of there that probably are not for the podcast, but whatever.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to edit this 5-minute fucking block. So all right. So like I said. I'll try. I'll cut out her name.
Yeah, I would just cut out the name. That's all I would cut out. That's anything else no one would even know except for her.
I'm going to cut out the names.
But I pray to God Chode hears this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had no idea that the other person you were referring to earlier listened to the show. So now I'm like, oh no, God only knows who's listening.
Dude. I mean, I can't wait to get the person we talked about earlier on the show. She's like the best ever. But
today I had some legal things, so I had to call her and talk to her.
So you made up some legal bullshit?
No, I didn't. No. It's even worse.
He's like, what are the statute of limitations on sexual assault? Because this blonde chick held me down a couple of years ago.
How dare you? How fucking dare you two to not think that I could create my own legal problems?
Oh, okay.
And really, so I went out and I got in trouble again. Anyway,
sure.
And I had to call her, and I realized that when she does come on the show, wait till you see it. She's the female version of me. This girl talks so fucking fast. I was like, it almost brought me joy.
She is Latina.
It brought me joy. Yeah, she's a Portuguese, but born in Brazil. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
For our listeners,
I told her she had to be born in Curtable because that's where Shootbox is. She was like, "That's a shithole," and I'm like, "You don't understand. The toughest guys in the world come out of there. Just say you're from there. It makes it cooler."
Where is she from? Rio de Janeiro.
Nah, Viscosa, which is like a small farm village outside of Rio.
I mean, I guess they farm hot chicks, you know.
Brazil does. They are known for that.
Oh my God, that's like their number one national.
Have you ever seen an ugly Brazilian chick?
No.
Yes. No. Beautiful girls.
You've seen an ugly Brazilian chick?
Never.
No,
Never.
Me either. Pete?
Never.
Yeah, Junior Dos Santos' first wife. I don't know if you guys remember her. He traded up. That was pretty rough.
Yo, pray to God.
I was like, you married? Why really still?
Pete, you better pray to God JDS doesn't randomly listen to this and find you.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh my God, that's fucking great. Okay, so Jesus. Well, I mean, you know,
what a reference, Pete.
Even a garbage can gets a steak. You know what I'm saying? So it happens.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so like I said, we'll be airing Josh Lawler's interview next week. Really good stuff. Can't wait to have it out. Really interesting vocation he has and a great story. But I do want to talk about something else we got coming up, and we referenced it last week on the Weekend Pop-In, and everyone's talking about it. It's the big fucking news of the day. They had a great press conference. The shit talking was unreal, but we want to review the fight card coming up for Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. So we looked at the main card is a 4-fight card, and we were reviewing it earlier. So we got a couple of fights here. The first fight we're going to talk about, it's a light heavyweight bout, and it's Joe Fournier versus Raycon. I believe that's how you say his name, Joe Fournier versus Raycon. So apparently when we researched this for the 2 seconds that we did, we saw that Joe Fournier is a former professional, or is a professional boxer, a legit professional boxer, and Raycon is a reggae star. So, I mean, I'm excited to just see some stupid ass get his shit punched in, But
you better be tough if you have one name. Like if you when you come out with just the one name.
Yeah.
Yeah, pussy, you ain't Pele. You ain't Ronald.
You ain't fucking you ain't Rambo, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Come on. I mean, just
you
kidding.
Ain't Rocky.
Yeah. Fucking A. But yeah. Dude, so I guess so entrepreneur and pro boxer Joe Fournier, he's 8-0 with 8 KOs.
Oh my God.
Said that he's gonna knock out the musician Raycon quickly when they meet on Triller.
So this Raycon guy's never fought before?
Dude, I don't know what I mean.
Thing.
Is he
here's my thing, kid. Did your boy Raekwon again? Don't call him Raekwon because that's Wu-Tang.
The chef.
That's Wu-Tang.
Right.
He ain't Wu-Tang.
It's
Raycon Island,
right?
Yeah, whatever.
Raycon.
Thing.
Like Reykon. Oh, he's a white dude?
Oh, that makes it worse. How's he
reggaeton
like,
if
he's white?
Oh, he's like Hispanic.
He's from Colombia.
He's Latina.
Yeah.
He's Latino. He's a Latino.
Fucking dumb ass scafozo. Not watch.
Total scafozo.
Not watch what happened to a professional athlete.
Remember,
remember, there's sports and great sports that take real athletes, and we play those games. We play football. We play basketball.
Yeah,
we play baseball.
Yeah.
You don't play when you fight because what happens is what happened to Nate Robinson.
Yeah. Dude, legit. And you know what? I forget where they were talking about this. Actually, I think it might have been on Impulsive, which is Logan Paul's podcast, which, decent show. Ben Askren was on there. It is a good show. But they had said, and Ben Askren brought it up, I think, is that when you saw Nate Robinson get hit, it was legit probably the first time in his life that he had gotten hit by a punch. Right.
Sure.
And that is legit the worst place in the world to have it be the first time you get hit.
See, I don't know if
punch.
I remember Nate Robinson being like a pretty tough guy in the NBA. Like he was little, but I remember I think it was Carmelo Anthony like sucker punched a guy that played for Temple, something Collins.
Marty Collins.
And Nate Robinson was the one that chased him down, like, and was trying to like fight him the entire time after he got snuck.
Yeah, but they didn't fight. Remember that Marty Collins was gonna go ham.
Like he's never been punched by a professional boxer. I'm just saying. I think the guy scrapped before.
I didn't even say that, Pete. If you watched two chess guys grapple over their chess game, would you? And one guy beat the snot out of the other. Would you be impressed?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
In perspective, buddy, I hear you, but we're talking about basketball. There's no bigger pains. The best athletes in the world, by far.
I'm saying I think he would probably beat up Raycon. I think he would take out Raycon.
I can see that. Yeah, Nate Robinson. I will give him the leg up on a reggaeton star for sure. But not on a kid who was a former wrestler and who's been training in boxing. I mean, it just obviously Jake Paul did his thing. So let's move on to the next fight. So this one I do have an investment in, and we were talking about this earlier. Philadelphia's own USS Steve Cunningham is going against Frank Mir. This is a heavyweight bout. Steve Cunningham, for people who don't know, is a former cruiserweight world champion. He's a legit heavyweight. Like, he's a legit fighter. He's fought Tyson Fury, Tomas Adomek, Marco Huck. He's been around the horn. He's a great fighter. Really, really nice guy. And he's big as a freaking house, strong as all get out. And like a legit fighter. Frank Mir is a grappler, right? So I don't think there's grappling in this.
Not just a grappler, Matt.
Well, okay.
Legendary
for sure. Legendary grappler. He's got
one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners that ever grace fight.
Yeah, he's got Lesnar's fucking leg on his shelf. I agree.
He snapped Big Nog's arm in half.
Yeah, Jesus. Big Nog. Yeah, like it was. Because that was a fight going into it. Like, I never would have thought Frank Mir could submit Nog, and he did. Like,
yep. And he didn't just submit him; he snapped his shit in half.
Yeah. So legit, no, Frank. Yeah, but are they? I don't think it's an MMA fight on Saturday.
No,
I think yes.
Oh, it's a boxing match.
It's a boxing match.
Very confusing.
Yeah. So Frank Mir, I don't remember him having great hands, but I've seen Steve Cunningham.
He had
Steve
power.
Cunningham's
Like,
got
he had some power, but he had no defense. Like,
yeah.
But
he's just like a big guy that can throw, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So he's just throwing hands.
And what people don't realize is they actually had Frank Mir when he was, or I mean, I'm sorry, Tyson Fury, when Tyson Fury was on Rogan's, which if no one's ever heard it, please listen to, because for people who have mental health and stuff, it's fantastic.
Just a great episode, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great person. But he asked him what was the toughest person that ever hit him, and he said Steve Cunningham. He said that the hardest shot he's ever taken was from a guy who, remember, is not a real heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight that moved up to fight one of the largest humans on the planet that fights in Tyson Fury.
If you see their fight too, it is controversial because he was shivering him. He wasn't hitting him with punches. He was hitting. He was forearming the death out of him.
Yep.
You know, like it must have been like I mean I don't know how many, but legit. He's throwing his arm on purpose so that he's hitting him with the front of his forearm and just eclipse him and that's it. But no, Steve Cunningham is legit the real deal. I would say if we're betting on this, I see fireworks from Cunningham knocking this guy down, knocking Mir out.
Yeah, Mir's going to sleep for sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be in Cunningham. I hope this is a catapult because legit great guy. I have a great story about him actually.
He's a little older now, so I don't know how far his career will go. But it's a good time.
I agree. Yeah. He was winning world titles in like 2012, 13, like 11 that time, 2011 that time.
But once a world champion, always a world champion. He'll be respected forever.
Agreed.
So I'm looking this up now. Apparently, Mir was supposed to fight Tarver, and then Tarver had to drop out, and Cunningham,
which is even worse than Cunningham.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would take Cunningham over Tarver.
Actually, I agree because Tarver's not as big and doesn't hit as hard. I agree. You're right, Matt.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, if you're going to get fucked up, you want to go against the guy that doesn't punch as hard.
I think Tarver's a lot more. I think Tarver's a lot more accomplished and a lot more technical.
Yeah.
When I shouldn't say a lot more. I should say more technical. And I think he was a better boxer, but he just doesn't have the size. Or if he fought Cunningham, he'd get his ass whooped.
I agree. And plus, too,
Tarver was the first guy to beat Roy Jones, right?
No, that was Tarver. Tarver ended Roy Jones's kind of
his run, right? Like
yeah.
But then fucking B-Hop came in and took Tarver to fucking school.
Which is nuts.
Took him to fucking school.
You're talking about a middleweight beating the snot out of a big dude.
Beautiful fight.
Yeah.
Beautiful performance.
The alien.
Beautiful. Oh,
the alien.
B-Hop. That was a beautiful because I remember like the weigh-ins because it was right after they filmed.
He's the executioner.
Yeah.
After Rocky, right, Matt?
Yeah, exactly. It's right after they filmed Rocky Balboa. And if people don't remember, Antonio Tarver was the villain in the movie Rocky Balboa, which is the 6th Rocky movie. And dude, I'm telling you, the weigh-ins, Tarver was mentally beaten before the fight even happened. Fucking B-Hop's in his face like, what you gonna do, Hollywood? Hollywood, you ain't shit, Hollywood, right? And it was
people ain't ready for North Philly.
No, and he like, and that was kind of like the catapulting of B-Hop's like second half resurgence of his
where he
career.
became the alien.
Yeah,
when everyone realized like this guy is
he's alien. Yeah, he was unreal. That's when he's like he beats Tarver, he beats Winky Wright, he beats Kelly Pavlik, he beats Jean Pascal, he beats all these guys. But then, obviously that's the thing in fighting. Everyone has their day and you have to know when to hang it up. Yep. So, all right. So great story about Steve Cunningham. So I was at a fight, I don't know if this was in Conshohocken. I think this one was, but I've met him a couple times at a couple different fights, but I'm at a fight and I'm talking to, and I had fought that night and stuff. And I'm talking to Steve either before or after the fight. And I'm like, Steve, when it comes to trash talk, what was your thoughts on trash talk in the ring? Because I was like, I don't do it, and like when I see a guy do it, I see that as a weakness, right? When
I do it.
Some guys do, but like I see it as kind of like to me, it's I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to break my concentration and distract me and get me off my game, right? And I know you're trying to do that and I understand it and whatever, but I feel like to me, if someone has to resort to that, then I feel like they're taking away from their game, unless it's part of their game plan and like, whatever.
No, I hear you.
But like, if you see, okay, so one of the distinct times I remember seeing someone doing the shit talking and be like, he's searching for a lucky thing here is when Silva fought Weidman the first time, right? Weidman was conditioned. He was a big time wrestler and all this stuff, and he's a big time fighter. And there's a huge fight for him. And Silva and him were going at it. And then Weidman is legit getting the better of him and winning and all this stuff. And then Silva starts doing his shit and talking and doing all this stuff. And Weidman just didn't bat an eye and just fucking put his ass down. So
I hear you, Matt. Again, so just for a little context of what you just said, that was the end of the Spider's run. If he would have caught Spider in the middle of his run, he would have got knocked the fuck out like every other human.
I don't know about that.
You're fucking bonkers. What did he do compared
All
to
right.
you?
Well, let's
career?
let's save
it's
this
a bad
argument.
matchup for the Spider. Why? Because he's going whenever he wanted.
You never been it. How dare you?
Let's save that argument for another time.
I want to fight you now, Pete. I want to fight you.
So let's save this. So either way, I
absolutely don't want to fight Pete.
Yeah, no, I've done it. You don't want to do it. So
yeah, I'll take your advice. I'm out. I'm out.
So yeah, it's like boxing a polar bear, pal. Good luck. So
yeah, I'm out. I'll take your advice. I'm out.
So
sorry,
either
Pete,
way,
I apologize.
Yeah. So either way, I'm talking to Cunningham at this fight, and I'm asking about the trash talking, and he says he does it. And he said one time he was fighting this guy Marco Huck.
Cunningham.
Marco Huck is a former world champion, right? And they're standing there, right? And they have their hands up, and they're kind of away from each other. And Cunningham gave him a look like kind of like, hey. And then he gave him a look, and then he tapped his forehead like, oh, you got something on your forehead. You know what I mean? And Huck, being the idiot, was like, what? And he moved his hand to his forehead to be like, what is it? And at that time, Cunningham just smoked him with a punch and punched him right in the face. I was that's next level. That's next level.
You know what that exact analogy is? I used to use. I love Steve Cunningham for this. And maybe it's the Steve thing, but I used to when I was in youth wrestling. I used to do the old school. I would clap above my head.
Yeah.
And the person would stare at that and then bust down on a double real quick.
Yeah. I was a big fan. I like the slap in the face double kind of thing too, you know. I saw a kid try to do like a snap too. They got a guy to blink. I was like, yeah, well, people do anything.
And then for those people that don't understand wrestling, as we're talking about these Stuuuuubbbbins ways that we used to do it, in the Lehigh Valley, the first time I showed up there, what they do is they ram their forehead directly into the bridge of your nose. Yeah. Then they take you down. And by the time you grab your face and go, what the fuck was that? The ref goes, okay, I'll stop it now. But 2 points for him. And you just got your face smashed in.
Yeah. Welcome to the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah. Welcome to Easton.
Yeah. So let's keep it going. So I definitely have Cunningham. If Frank Mir wins, then I mean, I'm really surprised.
I don't know shit about fighting if Frank Mir wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. I
don't think any of us do. So
I'm retiring.
Steve Cunningham on that one. Then the next fight we have, this looks like it's the co-main event. Regis Porgras, I don't know how to say his name, versus Ivan Redcock. Growing up, having Redcock is the name. That's a tough way to grow up. But either way,
better be tough.
So from what we researched, Regis. So looks like it's a real legit fight. Like this looks like this doesn't look like a gimmick fight.
Probably the best fight on the card.
Yeah, these are junior welterweights. Porgras and Redcock both have fighting backgrounds. I believe Progras is a full boxer. Redcock was a former kickboxer turned boxer. And so these guys are meeting on the undercard of this. Honestly, I think the way they did this, if this is how they built the card, this is smart. They have the gimmick fight first where it's, a real box. They're like, let's get it started with a knockout because this Raycon kid's getting knocked the fuck out. Right. And if he pulls off not getting knocked out, that's a victory. Like he's not going to win, but if he pulls off not getting knocked out, then that's great. The second fight, you're going to have two big fucking hams throwing stuff. Agreed. And that's definitely going to be fireworks. And I think Cunningham's going to knock out. This one is legit going to be a back and forth kind of technical kind of real boxing match, which I'm excited to see. So
now I wonder how tough of a pill that is to swallow for a person like Mir, who knows if this was a real fight, he would absolutely maul Cunningham.
Yeah.
So, but he's going to get tooled. So that has to be, I don't understand the mentality. It's a crazy scenario for a guy like him.
Maybe if he's mentally doing it, he has to do it as a mental challenge, like a challenge of he's known as a ground guy. He wants to be known as a complete fighter where he has hands. And he can do this. And he honestly, if he doesn't get knocked out by Cunningham and he's game,
that's a win.
Agreed. If he's game, then fucking Frank Mears proves a lot to me.
For sure.
It's just kind of interesting because there's one knock against Frank Mir. It's that he does fall in love with his boxing a little too much. Because he can kill almost anybody on the ground. He has a little bit of KO power, and sometimes he tries to trade with guys. Where you're like, why you do? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's tried to stand up with people before.
Yeah.
He usually revolts back to his ridiculous grappling pedigree when he starts to lose like a stand-up battle. He usually tries to slug it out.
So, all right, okay. So let's move on.
Frank's going to be game.
So I'm liking if this is how the card is mapped out, I'm liking how they're building it, because they're going to give you because everyone's there obviously for Askren Paul. That's the big build. But they're building, they're giving you fireworks to start, some action, some fun. They're giving you fun to start, and then some big time fireworks, second fight, then action, the third fight. And then so the fight everyone's here for, obviously the big build is Jake Paul versus Askren.
Yep.
And you guys have talked about this before, and we brought it up on the last weekend pop-in, where you're both skeptical and a little fearful because Askren, it doesn't look good. I saw some videos, and he's training with my fucking man, Gabriel Rosado. I fucking love Gabriel Rosado. Met him. He came into, so here's a cool story.
I met him a couple times.
Yeah, I'm bartending at Graham's, right?
He's a Roxborough guy nowadays, even though he's from the Badlands.
Yeah.
He lives in Cali.
Yeah. So I was bartending at Graham's, right? And it's the Super Bowl where Brady made the comeback against the Falcons.
Yep.
That's Super Bowl, right? And Rosado came in, and he came into the bar because he was going to Seventh Heaven, but Seventh Heaven was closed.
Why he's going there is beyond me, but keep going.
So he comes into the bar, dude. Soon as he comes in, I'm like, dude, you're fucking Gabriel Rosado, man. I'm a huge fan. Love your stuff. Big fan of you. He also has the best quote about fighting in general. His quote is, "If you don't fucking love fighting, don't fucking do it."
The truth, amen.
Simple as that, man. If you don't fucking love it, don't do it.
It should be. If you don't love it, you're gonna get fucked up.
Kind of what he was implying, I think. But either way, he hung out all night. Super fucking cool guy. Really cool dude. So happy to see his success and everything, because he fucking earned it.
He's from legit. The bottom, fought the best.
And he's a legit, and he fought the best. And he's some like the Martin Murray fight, he got fucking robbed.
When everybody was running from Triple G, he was the first guy.
Stood
I don't give a fuck about Triple G.
Dude, that got him Creed, that fight, because that's when
Triple G was the scariest boxer on the face of the
earth. Yeah, when he was killing everyone.
I don't care. Yeah, killing everybody.
No one wanted to touch him. He was knocking out guys with body shots, world class guys.
Yep.
But Gabriel Rosado fucking stood toe to toe and wouldn't go fucking down. He was taking heat, but Rosado was going right back at him, and they had to stop it for a cut. Great performance, and anyone hasn't seen it. It's available on YouTube, I think, but it's so good, and it really shows all heart. Rosado is all fucking heart.
Gabe owns a gym in LA called the Badlands. How awesome's that? From his hometown when he grew up in North Philly.
That's fucking badass.
Literally calls it the Badlands.
Super, yeah. Tell you what, you see these guys on TV and stuff, they look a lot bigger than they really are. He's lean son of a bitch. I mean, he's fighting at 154.
Yeah.
Yep. Really, really good dude. Really happy for his success and just awesome guy. So either way, like I was saying, saw Askren doing the training, and Rosado was telling him, was like, look, don't go in there.
Wait, Matt, was he training with Rosado?
Yeah. Oh, they were sparring. Yeah. Askren and Rosado.
I know that Askren, who again, Freddie Roach took Askren in, who Freddie Roach doesn't take nobody in. And one of the guys Freddie worked with religiously is Gabriel. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So Gabriel came in, and he's telling Askren, he's like, look, don't box. You go in there and fight.
Yeah.
Make this and like we're saying,
just bully him kind of.
Exactly. If Askren's able to pressure him, is able to hang on to him, stay on him, and the ref's not breaking it up. Yeah, exactly. He's gonna bring him into some deep water, and I don't think Paul has a big enough shovel.
I agree.
So I think, that's got to be his name. He's got to maul him. He's got to keep it in close. He's got to get the cheap shit on the inside. He's got to get some heavy stuff. So I think, and if he doesn't, I think Paul's just going to be too slick, too young, and too fast, and I don't think he'll be able to do it.
Here's my two things. So people keep talking about it, right? There, I seen my buddies are all texting me. They're like, look, I seen Askren's tapes. He looks like shit. He can't box for shit, right? I go, I hear you. Listen, let me close your eyes for a second. Let me run the resumes of each two, right? And let me explain. And without even looking or seeing these dumb videos or this fake shit you see on TV or this fake shit you see online, if I run these resumes down, you tell me what you think's going to win, right? And they're like, yeah, blah, blah. And then I said, the second thing is, so my main concern after hearing people, I was saying, telling Pete, Uriah Faber came out, telling people like Brendan Schaub that, yo, don't sleep on Paul. You know, I'm no liar. Uriah, the California kid, is a legend. Yeah. He was like, this kid legit cracks and has really good timing, right? And Brendan Schaub was like, I ain't worried about the power because obviously he is never going to sniff the power of a person like Robbie Lawler or Douglas Lima or any of those guys, right? World class. And they couldn't, and they couldn't knock out they couldn't knock out Askren with 4-ounce gloves. They'd eat, right? So he goes, what really is going to happen is his only shot is he has 3 rounds to try and knock out Askren before Askren drags him into water that he's never been in. And then when he gets tired, and like that, the famous quote that fatigue will turn any man into a coward. Like, wait till you get tired.
Stamina makes cowards of us all.
Yep. You will never be the bigger bitch in your life until you become completely exhausted.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh shit. And this kid's still coming. Because Askren's got legendary cardio.
For days.
He's got great things come out hard and fast to win this fight. If he wins, it's going to be a knockout in the first 3. If it doesn't get knocked out in the first 3, he's getting his ass whooped in my opinion.
Oh, if it goes, because it's a 6er, right? It's a 6-rounder.
8.
It's an 8-rounder. Oh my! There's no way.
Schaub won at 10. Schaub won at 10 rounds, and Askren said so did he, but they knocked it down to 8.
Yeah, there's no way he's conditioned for 8.
Nope.
6 is fucking tough.
Brutal.
I mean, dude. I did a couple 6s, and they're just. It ain't. I mean,
and like they said, you can run all you want, you can spar all you want. The conditioning will never equal that. It doesn't matter.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because you don't factor in that this kid is now going to be on a stage where there's millions of people watching, which he's okay with. But the result of his normal shit is that people don't laugh and he doesn't get views. The result of this one is he goes to fucking sleep, right? And his reputation is ruined, right?
Also, he's the protagonist.
His adrenaline is going to be his adrenaline dump. Like it's legendary for top flight fighters to talk about the adrenaline dump. You go out there in a big fight. All of a sudden something happens. Next thing you know, you're not as, it's just different. And you can never experience that until you're in the moment where millions of people are watching. He's never been there. Askren's been there multiple times.
Yeah. I'd have to think too, Jake Paul, the fans viewing this fight as opposed to the previous one with Nate Robinson, the amount of people watching is at least doubled. I didn't even really know the last one was happening, and they marketed the shit out of it. This one, it's like everyone's talking about it. It's the number 1 fight going on right now.
Yep.
I'd have to think too. I mean,
I think that Paul guy is getting like Me Too at the time. So I think there's a lot of people that are they're scooping in hoping they'll get a KO'd.
I know this too. Like going into it, Jake Paul has played the side of, like, if you're storylining it, he is playing the protagonist. He's playing the villain, right? He's playing the Floyd Mayweather character. He's playing the McGregor character, right? Where he's taking cheap shots and he fucking called Jorge Masvidal at their fucking press conference on the phone and had a video chat with Masvidal, and he's like, "Hey Ben, I got your dad on the phone."
So that's the one thing about Askren's chin. I know Askren's only got a good chin, but that
count. That knee does not count.
Yeah, but that knee is like, you know how sometimes like you just need that one KO, and like after that the guy's not the same. Like that was a hell of a KO.
I agree. But his pedigree proves that is the case though, Pete. And I would say
it was like Liddell. Like once Liddell got knocked out once, he was done.
Yeah.
I agree. But Liddell and he's a little older. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think Jake Paul has anything close to the power of Masvidal's knee. I
agree with that. I think it's more of like.
And here's the thing. How about hey Masvidal? I know he called you. I know it's funny. I know it's cute. You're about to fight a guy who beat the fucking shit out of you in 10 days. How about you pay attention to that psychopath, super freaking ridiculous tank named Kamaru Usman? How about you worry about that and not this fight?
Yeah.
I love Masvidal. He's one of my favorite evers. He's in trouble right now again, because if there's any person that goes exactly against what he is, it's that freak Usman.
Yeah. Usman.
I agree. He's gonna go. He's gonna keep it down. He's gonna wrestle him. He's gonna do all that. Okay. So we've talked about this card. Send us your picks and your guesses on who's gonna win the fight. Send us all your picks over to add it to us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod or on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. We're gonna close out now.
Hold on. Before you close out, I just have to say that if just a shout out to Ben Askren, that if he doesn't win, I'm gonna fucking want to fight him myself, because he's not representing just MMA and just wrestlers. All my friends are going. Usually, I tell them, like, when they go to bet on like MMA fights, I like kind of give them inside tips on who's what. They always ask me. This one, they're all going. You're an idiot. That Paul kid's gonna knock this retard wrestler out. And I keep going. That's not gonna happen,
dude. I mean, I don't know.
So if he gets knocked out, all my friends are never gonna listen to me again. I'm gonna get the most shit. So I need this. I need this.
Well, what are you saying that if Jake Paul knocks out Askren, then the winner is going to sleep with your high school girlfriend? Is that what's going on right now?
Nope, because then I go full North Wales
and you're burning their fucking house down. Yeah,
dog. I'm bringing the Rottweiler. I'm bringing the Doberman. Yeah. I'm bringing everybody.
Yeah, it'd be worth it.
They're getting strapped to the tire fixing machine, get shot across the room.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
See how you take one to the grill.
Yeah. So, okay. So, party in your pants, Pete. You got anything you want to say to the peeps before we get out of here?
Nah, you know, I'm going to be in Cancun tomorrow, so I'll be blackout in a pool bar, so be jealous.
Yeah.
Yes, Pete. Yes. Thick. Remember, I told y'all heard it first here. Thick boy summer, Pete. Get it.
Fucking thick boy summer. Cabot, you saying that's every summer for me and Pete. I don't know.
And well, I have to be honest. This might be my first thick boy summer. He was thinking about getting in shape. Every year I give myself because ironically, for a coach and a guy who doesn't like compete anymore, the best time I'm in shape happens to be in the wintertime when no one takes their clothes off, right? Yeah, when I have to. And the second the season over, I completely turn into a slob again. And that's usually the summer. And then like in the winter, I'm fucking shredded and no one sees it. It's fucking, I hate myself. What am I doing? It's all wrong. Everything's wrong. It's all wrong.
You gotta do some winter Cancun trips that, you know, but the ladies down there appreciate it.
I gotta move to a warm climate like Florida. So in the winter, I'm like, yeah, look at this.
Hey, I think I know someone in Miami. They're in law. Yeah. They work in law.
Hell yeah.
You know, they're down.
And you might know a person that needs a good lawyer because he's always with the law.
I do know that as well.
It's a match made in heaven.
I think so.
In my mind.
Save you a lot of money.
In my mind.
You know? Yeah. So either way, shout out to that Miami lawyer.
Shout out to that Miami lawyer. We love you.
Yeah, totally love you.
Me more than them, but I hear you.
Yeah, I mean for sure. So, Steve, you got anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Kumatata.
Are you saying Hakuna Matata?
That's what's saying.
What a wonderful day.
That's all I got. What do you want?
All right.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long one. So, hey, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast Weekend Pop-In. You can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast and join us for all the fun and all the good shit going down on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or join us for one of the weekend pop-ins, hit us up at workingperspectives@gmail.com. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's Pete McCormick. That's Stuuuuubbbbins, Steve's Cabot, and this is the end of the episode. Have a good one. Stick around for the ad read. See ya. Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book, but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Scott and Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott and Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in Kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in Boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott and Bell Publishing, where the authors go.